That intro just gets me every single time. It's so haunting and heartbreaking. And with no further ado, I figure it's the right time to talk about a book that I read a long time ago in a galaxy. No, wrong series. Back when the second Dead Space came out, they brought out a book series for, well, Dead Space. And I figured, hey, with the remake / remaster, whatever kind of thing it is, out soon, probably today, let's talk about it, shall we? What is synonymous with this game series, other than the undead, weirdly crooked monsters coming back to life and threatening to tear your face off or make you like them? Okay, and the creepy space environments, and the fact that there is... Look, okay, it's religious nutcases. I say this as a religious type myself, just some of us take things a little too far, and in Dead Space, the unitologists do just that. Sorry. And who do they talk about a lot? Other than the unification, the thing that's coming that basically is what's happening in Dead Space. It's a figure called Altman. Altman be praised. It's written on walls in blood, it's said repeatedly, and oftentimes the antagonists are unitologists who say this to you several times before trying to kill you. But who was this nearly mythical character? The way that the unitologists speak, you would think they were a prophet, a soothsayer, a god. And the book Martyr is about him. But you may be very surprised to find that he is not the way that his followers describe him. From here on out, there is going to be spoilers for the book. I'll try not to give too much away, so that you do want to go and read it. However, there is massive spoilers. I can't talk about this book without talking about the story of Dead Space, or even the book, the spoilers in the story. It's the way it goes. So if you've played all 3 of the original games, then you will know some of the background behind the markers. These are strange monuments created by some unknown alien race that can also act as a power source. Again, I'm going to stress, major spoilers for Dead Space 3. We find out that they are created by the things called the Brother Moons. They are cast out into space, fired at random planets where sentient life could possibly grow. And then as it grows, they find the markers, and because most sentient life seems to outstrip the resources of the planet they're on, they turn to the markers for power sources. Now, in this book, Altman is a doctor of archaeology, I believe. I haven't got the book to hand right now. As I said, I read it a while ago, but he's a doctor. He has a doctorate. He is a simple man who is in a relationship with his on-again, off-again wife, girlfriend, lady, who is of Native American descent. This actually features very heavily in the story, which is why I bring it up. Now, the monument has been found on a dig, and he, his wife, and their scientific group are sent to go and research what it is. And as they research to find out what is going on, how things are taking shape and going forward, they find out that the marker can be used as a power source. The more you use the power source, the more strange and wonderful things start to happen. People hear voices, people start to go crazy, people attack other people, and those of native descent, who there are quite a few of in this story, start to talk about their ancestors speaking to them. However, There is a very strange dichotomy when it comes to the marker. Some people will hear their ancestors and try and stop the marker from doing what it wants to do. There are those who hear the marker and are driven insane. And of course, they move to do what the marker wants them to do. Kill people, create necromorphs, and inevitably in the very distant future, turn all of the necromorphs into a giant mound of flesh so that it can become another Brotherhood moon. Like I said, massive spoilers for Dead Space 3. I'm hoping that they fix this story point if they do go back and redo 2 and 3, but until that point, this is the canon story. However, obviously, Altman and his team don't know this. They don't know that there are alien species out there because, as they say in the book and in the first Dead Space game, they have never found another alien species that is alive. The reason for this, it turns out, is the markers. So Altman is one of the few people that the marker seems to have no effect on. He doesn't hear voices. He doesn't hallucinate until very, very much later on in the book. And he is genuinely very, very analytical of what is going on around him. Now, as it does start to affect him towards the end, is when the army moves in. And of course, when the army moves in, that means the government are involved. And this government is shady as all hell. They want to use the marker as a power source. They think that they can use it as a weapon as well to control the populace. They're genuinely not nice people. This government is absolutely insane. And when I say dystopia, it makes the Hunger Games government look like they're handing out teddy bears. This book is great for that. Now, as I've detailed Altman, he's a generally nice, normal guy. He wants to do what's right for the human race. He wants to destroy this marker. And he nearly succeeds. He manages to wipe all of the data of the marker from any PC ever. And he nearly manages to destroy it. So, if that's the case, why is he seen as a martyr and a prophet to the unitologists? Well, that government I told you about, they're about to come in and do a black hood on this poor man. However, the reason that they do that is because of his wife, girlfriend thing. I think it's kind of they're in a split up situation, but they still love each other a lot. But anyway, she goes on to talk to him about the fact that her ancestors have come to visit and that she believes that the crow spirit or the spirits of the animals are talking to her. She's not the only one. There are others of native descent as well who are particularly impressed upon by these spirits, and they start to create the cult of unification. They see dreams in their head, they hear the voices, and they're not quite to the scale of the ones that go mad and want to kill everybody, but they do know that unification is coming, and they do think that it's going to be a wonderful thing where all pain and suffering will end and no one will be better than anyone else. And it is, in one point of view, a utopia. It's what they want. It's what everybody hopes for. So they start to see Altman not quite on the level as a god, but someone who speaks to God, essentially. They ask him about the marker. What does it give them? What's it going to do? What is going on? All that, and constantly dogging and hounding him about it. And in the end, the government see this as a good thing. Christianity has fallen out by the wayside in the future. It is not considered a good thing. It is considered a terrible thing. So they need something else. And they create unitology. However, Altman doesn't want to play along. So they give him an ultimatum. Do what we want, give us your research, or things will happen to you. And as I've said before, Altman laughs at this and goes on destroying all of his work, which actually turns out to be a bad thing and means that the government get what they want, because ultimately he plays into their hands. With his research gone, no one knows what the marker is or how it works or anything like that, and all of the warnings are gone. They're removed. the government don't want to research the negatives of this marker. They want to use it as a power source and a way of controlling humanity. So they just continue. Altman, however, is a loose end. They need him to represent something. They need him to move forward. So, once the necromorphs start taking over the dig site, they capture a couple of them. They give Altman a chance to have another ultimatum thrown at him, and he once again refuses. Then they release the necromorphs on him. And in the most twisted form of fate, he is essentially cannibalized by them and turned into another necromorph and held up by them as the Saint of Unitology. And from there, the Church of Unitology grows. And we are eventually led to the point where the USS Ishimura is sent to a planet cracker and a marker is found. And the Unitologists knew it was going to be there all along and send Kendra to retrieve it. And that's the story. It's a lot more detailed than that, and if you like horror stories where you know how something's going to end, because it kind of states in the first chapter that this is how Altman dies, then I think you'll really enjoy this book. And with Dead Space coming back out, it would be nice if we got more books about the predecessing moments of Dead Space that led up to where we are now. Or even, I do like some novelizations of the games, if done right. Do not do an Assassin's Creed one, for the love of God. That was awfully written, and I can go into that in another book. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you next time on the channel. Take care, and goodbye.